Good morning, everybody. This is Brad Reed. I am a real life trader, and I'm here to remind you to be good. By good, I mean getting out of debt, achieve your financial dreams, and give back generously to your community. Good morning, everyone. How you doing? I am joined by my good friend Arthur Pierce, out in Sacramento, California. What's going on out there, Art?
Not much, not much. I'm sure Sacramento was doing okay too, but
You're
Salinas is
not
not
in
too good
Sacramento.
either.
I keep saying that. You're in Salinas. I'm so sorry, dude.
No, no worries, no worries. Same area, same vicinity.
Okay, well, I know there's a big RLT group in Sacramento, so I apologize. You are in Salinas. I'm also joined by the very early riser, Mr. Jeremy Newsom. Jeremy, what's going on there in Nashville? Is the sun on the wrong side of the sky?
It is. I'm like, why is it coming through the window? Why is it doing this?
All right. Well, good morning, guys. Thanks for being here. Uh, Later this morning, I have to go do. I say I have to. I get to go do a presentation to a company's corporate office here in Indianapolis. So I'll be cutting out a little bit early, and Jeremy's going to take over. That is the reason for that. Let's see. Am I sharing my screen? No, I'm not. All right. So this morning, wanted to record a video about the afternoon delight strategy, and we are recording, so everyone gets to hear Jeremy's morning voice. Let me get the two screen sharing softwares going, and it looks like I'm sharing now. So cool. So an afternoon delight, actually, now I'm going to turn that off, um, is one of those strategies where if you have a stock that's not erasing pencil, that's kind of moving along and then it gaps up, it'll typically make a big run up early in the morning, retrace about 50%, and then somewhere around 11 or 12 Eastern time, it just kind of flattens out. And then towards the end of the day, it starts to pick up and it tends to go back up. That's what the traditional afternoon delight looks like. You'll also notice volume bars. If this were volume will pick up greatly, and then volume will kind of die down, and it almost reflects. Volume goes to almost nothing in the middle of the day around lunchtime, and then it'll pick up towards the end of the day, kind of like the stock price actually. And then the strategy is when it starts moving real flat like this around 12:30, 12:45 Eastern time, when the stock traders are coming back from their lunch break, you can enter let's see, I should switch colors. You can put your entry here, your stop there, get a really nice tight entry to stop, and then hopefully crush 2 Rs, maybe 3 Rs or 4 Rs or more. So that is kind of how the strategy works. Let's go look at some examples. And now I'm getting the screen sharing going again. Here we go. And I've got 11 minutes for we to go start doing some more research. All right. Let's start with UNH. Once again, the gap is going to be the most important thing for any strategy. The strength of the gap is like the strength of the current. If you're in a river and you're swimming or boating, we want a very strong current pushing us all in the same direction. So here we have a very nice retest gap on UNH that clears this pivot point. As you can see, it had a nice bullish day. And here's kind of what happened. It made this big run up early in the morning, and then it retraced down, not quite 50%, but close enough. And then it just kind of went sideways. And you see this long sideways, this interesting little blip here that doesn't always happen. I would say usually doesn't happen on a perfect afternoon delight, but it just kind of runs sideways. And then here we are getting to about 12:30, 1 o'clock Eastern time, and we put a trigger in above this candle, and we put a stop in here. And as you can see, this thing ran. I say we. This was done by Jeremy Newsom in the afternoon session, but yeah, it ran. Spent the rest of the day running up, and they had a nice profitable trade off of UNH. Here's another one. Now this one isn't the quite the textbook. This is Southwest Airlines, quite the textbook afternoon delight, but I would call this afternoon delight-ish because although it did retrace early in the morning, it did have a nice big run up, then did the retrace, and then the whole stock just kind of fell asleep. Um, and had this little sideways motion here, and they placed an entry and a stop, and it popped and it ran. So now I did that one. Let's see if we can do one together. Here is Nordic American Tanker Shipping Limited, NAT, and this gap was on March 19th. Tell you what, let me go back here. This United Health Group gap was, the gap was on March 16th, and this trade was March 16th of 2015. So if you want to go back and take a look at that, March 16th, 2015, UNH. This one was LUV, Southwest Airlines, also on March 16th. Now I'm jumping to NAT, NAT. This one was on March 19th. But again, a nice gap, clears the pivots, lots of room to move. And here we have a big run up early in the morning, a slow kind of retrace, almost to 50%. Yeah, actually, that's maybe a little bit over 50% retrace. And then we have this sideways action. So then the question is, where would we put our entry and where would we put our stop? And so I'll let you guys take a look at that and kind of either make mental notes or write it down on paper where you'd make your entry and stop. I'm going to take a sip of tea, and then I'll show you what we did. All right, so you're probably wondering what's going on up in here. The high of this candle is 1135. The high of that candle is 1135. The high of that candle is 1135. The high of all these candles is 1135. Maybe you're kind of getting a little picture here. The low of this candle is 1130, and this one is 1130. And here's kind of what happened. So it did hit 2R before retracing. I want to say that on this swing low here, and when that failed to make a higher high, we put our stop in there, but maybe you have different trade management than we do, but this stock did eventually hit 2R. So the actual entry we did was 1137, which was 2 pennies above the high and through here. Our stop was at 1129, which is 1 penny below the low and through here. And it got 2R a little bit more, but that is the afternoon delight and the afternoon delight strategy, and 3 examples of how it works. So I hope this is something that you guys can use. By the way, if you are so inclined to try a new strategy, I would strongly recommend, by strongly I mean really strongly recommend, that you back trade it first and you test it, because we all have different eyeballs and different ways to analyze these things. So come to reallifetrading.com, click on articles. There's an article here that says 7 steps to building your own strategy, and it lays out step by step how to test a strategy. So if you like if you like the afternoon delight strategy based on this video, come through here, write out your plan, what you're looking for, where you'll put your stop, how you'll calculate your position size, where to put your target, and what's the criteria for adjusting your stop. Then find 100 of these patterns and do the back test and execute all of the criteria that you wrote down in step 3 here. And then you'll know if what you wrote down here in step 3 will work for the afternoon delight setup. Then after you do that, virtually trade it for 3 months or 50 trades. And then also I would recommend you try and find at least 100 of these to train your eyeballs on what an afternoon delight looks like. And if all that works well and you like it, and based on your back testing and your virtual trading, you are profitable with it, then you might be ready to go do it with real money. But great article to help you figure out a new strategy. Please do not just take my word for it. You need to go through these steps to test any strategy. Questions, comments, opposing views? All righty, I am going to turn off the recording, and for those that are watching the video, thanks for watching. Go to www.reallifetrading to find more videos like this, more strategies, and nothing can replace the videos that are up there. Great videos on how to look at these charts and how to trade, how to place your entry, how to protect your losses. Go check those out at www.reallifetrading. And I'm going to go ahead and click this button here, but before I do, I'll say trade on logic and not on hope. Have a good